was green, the sky was blue. That lucky old sun had nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. In this place, there were these great and powerful, magnificent eagles. The eagles would soar high above the tops of the trees, through the clouds, right next to that lucky old sun. It had nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. The female eagle, watching her as she danced her seductive dance, the people of the village would walk around with their heads held high, watching the dance of the eagle. That great eagle. She would soar and dance with a twig in her beak. She'd reach a particular height. The male eagles would be perched on mountaintops off around the side, watching the dance of the beautiful female eagle. As she dropped that twig, the male eagle would leave his perch, soar down, in an effort to catch that twig before it hit the ground, balancing it right between his wings. You see, and this is the mating dance. And one way that that female eagle would choose her male mate is to see him catch that twig before it hit the ground. The mother eagle knows. She knows that there's going to be a time that she will push her children from the nest so they can fledge and fly away. Should they not be able to fly, that father eagle better be someplace nice and close so he could catch those baby eagles before they hit the ground. Would that were how we choose our mate. But then one day, the men in the boats came. They fought the people. They captured the eagle. They captured this eagle and they took the beautiful female eagle with her nest, set her in a ship in the belly of a beast. This ship sailed across the rough and treacherous waters. Time passed and the first mate went down into the belly of the beast. He saw that female eagle, no room to spread her wings, ill and sitting on the nest of 3 eggs. The mother eagle, weak, not eating, ill from not spreading her wings. And the little tiny egg inside that nest began to shudder and shake, and pretty soon the shell of that egg, it did break, and out poked the head of a little tiny eagle, and that second little egg began to shiver and shudder and shake, and then pretty soon that shell, it did break, and out poked the head of another little tiny eagle. The third little tiny eagle began to poke his head up out of the shell of the egg. The little tiny girl eagle looked about, and she saw her mother, who said, always believe in yourself. Try your best to try your best. And the mother slept. She closed her eyes and she slept that sleep that seldom ceases. And the first mate, he looked, he said to the captain, Captain, there are little tiny eagles in the belly of the ship. What should I do with them? Well, the captain said, you take those little tiny eagles and you put them in the chicken bin. That way, when they grow up, they'll think that they're chickens. I mean, he laughed this evil, this ugly laugh. And the first mate took those little tiny eagles and he put them in the chicken bin. And as that ship sailed across those rough and treacherous waters, soon it landed. And when it landed, they took those eagles from the chicken bin and sold them to a chicken farmer. They sold him to the chicken farmer, put him on a chicken farm, and when the chickens saw those little tiny eagles, the first thing they said was, "Y'all some ugly chickens. Look at you. You got them brown feathers and big crooked beaks. Your eyes are weird. Those huge feet. What are those? Wings? What do you need wings for? Chickens can't fly. You can't fly. You're just ugly chickens." And the little tiny eagles, looking about, didn't see anything that looked like them. They began to believe that they indeed were ugly chickens. And they walked around with their heads hung down. They dragged their little tiny feet. They wouldn't barely eat. Time passed. The chickens and the roosters would belittle those magnificent eagles. Now those ships went back across the treacherous waters. Those ships went back to that land where the grass was green and the sky was blue and that lucky old sun had nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Again, they fought the people. And they captured a great eagle, this time that eagle. They clipped his wings. The male eagle was thrown into the belly of that ship, and across the rough and treacherous waters, that ship, it sailed. And as fate would have it, that ship landed right there, the same place where those little tiny eagles who thought that they were chickens were. When they sold that great eagle to the chicken farmer, the first thing that great eagle said was, "Come, my brothers. Come, my sisters, spread your wings, fly away. You are part of a great and proud race. You are meant to soar high above the tops of the trees, right through the clouds, right past those lucky old sun, which has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Spread your wings and fly away." Are you talking to us? The first thing the little tiny eagle said was, no, don't say, were you talking to us? Don't say we're great. Don't say we can fly. We're just ugly chickens. Look, over there are the roosters. And they're going to come and get you. Scratch out your eyes. The chickens are going to scratch. Those eagles, those are roosters, and those are chickens. We're just ugly chickens. We're like them. The great eagle had never heard anything like this before, and the great eagle, he looked at them. He fluttered his wings. The little tiny girl eagle, she felt something warm. Something inside her, some kind of a memory. She didn't know what it was. She started to think. She just began to run. She never run before. She began to run. She ran as fast as she could. She hadn't really run before, but she ran really fast. She ran fast and she began to flap her wings. She never flapped her wings before. She didn't really know what she was doing, but she ran real fast and she flapped real hard and she took off the ground just a little bit of ways before she tumbled down in the dirt. That's when the chickens came. Ha ha ha, told you couldn't fly, told you were dumb and you're ugly, now you're dirty. Dumb, ugly, dirty, dumb, ugly. They started to sing a song to her. And a miracle occurred. She got up out of the dirt. She brushed off her little tiny shoulders. She began to run again. The great eagle saw that she was trying. He spread his wings, pumped them against the air. He flew up off the ground to the fence. And as he stood there with his wings spread wide, she began to run and started to hear what her mother said. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. She began to sing, I believe I can. I believe I can. I believe. And she began to pump her wings. If I just believe, I'll take to the sky. I'll learn how to fly. She was soaring high above the farmyard. Her little brother saw her in the air. He didn't even have to run. He just spread out his wings, pumped them against the air, took off like a rocket ship. I can fly. He started soaring. I can fly. He was soaring around the farmyard. Remember those chickens and roosters that had been bothering him? He was just eating a little bit of corn. Call me ugly. The third little tiny eagle who thought he was a chicken. He was there on the ground, and the great eagle said, come, spread your wings, fly away. I don't want to. The great eagle couldn't believe what he was hearing. Spread your wings, fly away. I don't want to. Well, I understand. I understand that you don't think that you can because you've never had the chance to do it before. You gotta try, come on and try. I don't want to. I understand that you've never seen anyone do this before, but you can do it. It's inside you to do it. I don't want to. You're afraid. You think if you get up there, you might fall down. I am the great eagle. If you start to fall, I'll be there to catch you. Come on, spread your wings. Fly away. I don't want to. With that, the great eagle said, if you don't want to, if you don't want to try, there's nothing that I or anybody else can do to help you. And with that, the great eagle, he just spread his wings, pumped them against the air. The little girl began to run like she ran before. She spread her wings, ready to follow right behind the great eagle. That one who took off like a rocket ship once again, right to the air. He began to soar, following behind the great eagle on their way home. One of these mornings, I'm going to wake up and fly away home. And they began to soar, flying. Something inside that little brother would not allow him to leave his brother down on the ground. And he turned his wings, reached out his talons and grabbed him by the chest and flung him up in the air. You spread your wings. You learn to fly or die trying. And as that little eagle up in the air began to stumble and tumble, fumble, rumble, and crumble, coming back down to the ground, the air caught his wings. He began to fly. You gotta want to. You gotta want to try. Each of us, like that little eagle, just need an opportunity. Spread your wings. Fly away. Thank you.